So welcome, my name is Magdaléna Kabátová. I would like to tell you something about testing of web applications using Python. First, I will shortly introduce myself and the company, our company, which is called Cleerio. And then I will give you a very short introduction to software testing and its types. And finally, I will show you how we in Cleerio implemented system testing using Python to our web mapping application. Nothing? Okay, that was fast.
Okay, thank you for
Okay, so about me, I studied landscape engineering, which is pictured by this. This is the revitalization of the river, small river. I focused on the geoinformation science. And then after the studies, I started to work in Cleerio, the former GeoSense. The name GeoSense, with this name, it's much more clear that we do some geo things. And I started to work there, it's like 6 years ago, and it was total startup. We were meeting in our owner's living room. And I was the only one full-time employee in the company. It was me, one part-time developer, one part-time databaseist, and 2 bosses. So I grew up with the company in those 6 years. From the data analyst or GIS specialist, I became a Scrum Master because the bosses discovered that I have some kind of talent to communicate with that databaseist and that developer. So I became a Scrum Master. And then after 2 years, Scrum Master / manual tester. And after 2 years, I was pretty tired of the role of the mother of 10 developers and a little bit bored of the manual testing, which was exhausting and never-ending. So a year ago, I decided with one of my colleagues who is sitting here, I decided to start to learn Python and change the role in the company. So, and what we do in Cleerio? We do a web-based map information system for asset and property management. It's quite unique because we try hard to combine map-centric view on the data. You can see the map with the data-centric view, with the tables. We call it data grid. And yeah, it's quite challenging because combining these 2 points of view on the big data sets in one page, it's really something. So we also run the whole system on mobile devices. So it's clear it's the testing is quite something what we should think about. Now I would like to know something about you also. I would like to ask if there is somebody who is completely new to Python, who attended Django Girls yesterday, who is attending PyLadies, for example. Okay, fine. So this presentation is a little bit also for you, because last year I attended Django Girls workshop and then also PyCon. And I made a joke here on PyCon last year, like, ha ha ha, next year I will present here. So, and it happened. So it's yeah, it could be yeah, some some more questions. Who has any experience with manual testing of some applications? And who from you has experience with automated system testing? Super. Wow. Now it's much more dramatic for me. Who from you develop web applications or work in a company who is developing? Okay. And do you test your web applications by system tests? Automated system tests? No? Okay, super. Okay, let's start with this short video. I hope it will run. No? I think almost everybody already saw it, but it's to outline the situation. Trying to fix a bug in a production. Okay, finally he did it, fine. And you will see how lucky is the man. It's really... Now, this is hack, you know, super. But okay. It's I thought that everybody will know that, but okay, it's much better. So this was just to outline the situation, and to avoid this situation, it's good to test before you release, before you run the locomotive. So, what is software testing? I'm not going to give you a lesson on software testing because it will take a long time, and to be honest, I still didn't get it. But if you want to, you can go through a really comprehensive article on Wikipedia, but later. As I interpret it, software testing helps to eliminate bugs in the system. That's it. And because it's pretty demanding, exhausting, and expensive and stressful to the team to fix the bug after it's already released. So, again, you should not ship the software untested. Software testing is usually done by software testers. What they do, they don't write the application, the program, but they make it better. Again, as I interpret it, they are trying to find the maximum bugs in time before it's released. So there is plenty of different approaches to software testing classification. I will not go through it because it's too much, but for this presentation, only these three differences are relevant. It's static, dynamic, white box, black box, and unit system. I will talk about the tests I'm going to talk about will be dynamic, black box, and system. Belongs to these three classes. Okay, I can go through it very quickly. Static tests test the quality of the code as it is written, and dynamic tests prove that code behaves in desired way. White box, black box, it's based on how deep the tester knows the source code of the program. And unit and system, this is something. I have read a few articles about differences between unit integration and system tests, but finally I understood thanks to this picture. I think it's totally clear, because Titanic would pass all the unit tests, but for sure it wouldn't pass system test. So again, what you need to ensure is that the whole system is functioning, not only its small parts like here on the picture. Another example. What do you think about the chairs you are sitting on? So it's modern, yes. It's innovative somehow, yes. It's comfortable, quite, yes. It can make you relaxed by, you know, like sliding back and forth. Try it, it's super. I use it for half an hour because before the presentation, and it really helped me. So it's super, but is it possible to sit down and stand up? Is it possible if your neighbor is already sitting? And girls, is it possible if you wear a skirt? No. Yeah, let's go on. So now I would like to tell you how we at Cleerio, how we organize the development and development of our web map application. So the development team consists of 10 developers. We use Scrum. We have 2-week sprints. And front-end team use JavaScript and mainly open layers library. Backend uses PHP, and PostgreSQL. And we, of course, use Git and Jenkins for continuous integration. And we, the management, want to deliver the new features as soon as possible, so we have to release as soon as possible or as often as possible. So you can imagine this setting is really pretty challenging for quality assurance, and that the automated testing is totally essential. So 1 year ago, we have no automated system testing. We have just one manual tester / Scrum Master, it's me. And of course, both teams, front-end and back-end, they had their custom unit test. Front-end use Casper.js, and back-end use Netatester. But you saw how it is with unit tests, so it was not enough. And we were trying to make releases every 2 weeks, but manual testing was really exhausting and still insufficient. So from time to time, for some reason, like changing a little bit of API, changing something in the database, or actualization of libraries, we totally broke the application and released it. And it was really stressful for the team. So then we found about the bugs from the customers or from the clients, respectively from our product owner, who is a nice guy, but you know, when he has like 10 calls, oh my God, what you are doing there? So it's not so fun anymore in the office. And then the hotfixing of this bug in a hurry would cause another 2 new bugs. You know it, I think. So every release was a nightmare for the whole team, as well as for product owner, managers, sales partners, clients, and so on. So a year ago, we decided to start writing system tests. But all the developers were needed to write new features and repair the bugs. So one of my colleagues sitting here decided that we can write the system test using Python, and then I could learn it and write it. Because Python is super and easy and so on. But at the time, I just thought that, it will not work. Ah, yeah, here. I just thought that it was my fear that the bugs will be just replaced by snakes because I didn't know what Python is. So, but that's it. I said okay. So in 2 weeks, he developed system testing framework based on Python unit test module and set it up to our continuous integration system. He wrote first few tests, and then I have already continued by myself with plenty of questions, of course. But in few weeks, we covered most important functionalities, so the manual testing became piece of cake. And in few months, we were able to make releases every week with not too much trouble. So much better than last year. Nowadays, we still have to do some manual testing, but like 70% of the features are covered by automated testing. And these tests have already saved our app many times. So as a result, besides more reliable application, we have a happy product owner in our office, which is super. So, and let's go deeply into it. As I have already said, the tests are written using Python unit test module, and Python code is sniffing on the web page for various elements, using mainly CSS selectors, checking for web elements like divs, spans, tables, filling the forms, clicking on buttons, and so on. I will show you later. And this all is possible thanks to Selenium WebDriver, which is a testing framework for web applications. The whole system is running on the server using Jenkins continuous integration. And the web application is running on Firefox browser. At the beginning, we used Phantom.js, but it sometimes behaved strange, so we just switched to Firefox. This is just the repetition. And now, on this chart, I will tell you how it is integrated into our development and release process. So we created 2 types of tests, simple and complex. Simple test is pretty fast. It just covers the fundamental functionalities of the application, and it runs automatically with every build, with every push to origin. So it's the blue one here, and also with every push to master. Complex test is a set of dozens small tests, detailed, and they are written for each module of the application. And they has to be run when you push to pre-production, and then when you push to when you push to production. And it takes about 20 minutes to run them. And complex tests also run automatically every hour on master, pre-production, and production branches to be sure that everything is still going well. And the last level of the testing is manual testing. Still, we use it. And we do it before pushing into production and also after releases. So, and if developer wants to be sure that his commit doesn't break anything before pushing to master, so from origin branch to master, he can also run the complex tests if you want to. But because it's not mandatory, so you can imagine how often they do this.
What are these long lines?
It's the green manual testing and integration testing. Ah, yeah, it's hotfix. This is hotfix. Yeah, sometimes it still happens that we have some bug, of course, on production. So the long lines, it's hotfix. So if something goes directly from origin from branch to production, then you have to do complex test and manual testing. So this is how it looks in Jenkins. What the developers see in Jenkins. So here, the highlighted are those complex tests, which are running every hour. And we can see that production and pre-production are okay, green, and sun is shining, and happy people in the office. But master seems to be broken. There is a cloudy weather on master. So we should have a look on it. Here we can have a look on the trend of passing tests, and also we can see the log file of current running test and the finished tests. And here we have the log file, and from this we can see that it finished with failure, here at the end, finished with failure. And we can also find out we have an assertion error saying that layer of the title testing layer or testovací vrstva was not found, and we know that it's in a layer switcher module. So we can fix it. This is because I changed the name of the layer on purpose yesterday, but it also could be caused by that somebody pushes something to the backend and change the APIs, and now it doesn't send the layers to the client. So this could be a real bug. Now let me show you some practical example of how system tests can be written. And let me have a little bit of water. So this is our application. And for the system testing purposes, I created special map application, and it has all the modules we have. You can see it here under menu. It has all the different types of layers we have. You can log in with different types of users, with different roles and rights, and so on. So you see the menu with the modules, the layer switcher, the map view. There is a measure module, so you can measure in the map. Here you see the data grid table with all the features listed, and here you see the detail of one selected feature. And you can also print it, print the detail, print the map, and so on. There is plenty of features, functionalities. So it's quite clear that it's a really big challenge to test it, and to test it by. It's clear to have. It's good to have automated tests because it's really too much. So. Yeah, let's have a look on some code. First of all, you have to import necessary tools from Selenium. So it's the 3 rows. Then we create a driver object. Here we use Firefox. So it's here. And then another important object is timer, which will wait till some element will appear or disappear on the web page. So it's here. Then we set the window size and call the application. And then we will wait till the application loads. So it's the end. And yeah, that's it. Once the web page is loaded, we make sure it's really loaded. And we make sure that the disclaimer, which is this one, appears. So it's here. This application is loaded, and we will find disclaimer. Then we look for agree button. We have a disclaimer, and we look for agree button and click on it. Uh-oh. Very fast. So now we will just find out that the disclaimer disappeared by no such elements exception. So and that's it, basically. The same way we can do login, printing, everything. So it's just looking for some elements on the web page and checking if there is this or not. So I will go through it very fast. Here again, it's a login, and we find the inputs and fill it in, and click in login, and it just make it. I think it will be much more, much better to show you. Huh? Hope it will work. No. Uh-oh. Okay, it's enough. So I will just try to run the test. So it's Python module unit test, and we will call test feature detail print, and we will see if it will run in the window. No. Yes, it is. So this is it. This is how it runs on the server, or you can run it on your computer. So now, disclaimer, agree, disappeared, login. So waiting for the login, then we will check that it disappeared. We look for a testovací vrstva. We open the data grid, and now we are like printing the first 3 details from the data grid. So that's it. Okay, I think I can turn it off. But it's really nice when you used to do manual testing. You know, it's really exhausting and never-ending, and then you write the test and just watch it, and it do the same. Okay, so it's just a nice feeling. And I want to turn this off. Okay, so back. In the same way, we test the other modules like measuring and so on. So we still have some issues to do, some things that we have to focus on. It's the test stability, because sometimes it's still behaved strange. We have to somehow deal with the readability of log, because it's for the JavaScript developers, it's sometimes hard to read it. There are some untestable features, so still manual testing. Yeah, I think it will be still necessary to do it. And we also, we are now, we use just Firefox, but we need to also test it on other browsers. So, just a short conclusion. It's easy to set up, so don't rely on unit tests, because system test could give you much more relevant information. It's easy to implement, it's doable for newbies, and yeah, never more 2 new bugs goes by 1 hotfix. And yeah, it causes less manual testing. It's much more fun than just clicking like a monkey. And yeah, Python is just great even for system tests. That's it. If you have any questions, you can try to ask me, but I'm not sure I will be able to answer. But you can also ask Joachim if you want to. So.
Yeah, thank you for interesting talk, and I think we have a lot of questions, and I'm looking for the answers. So, what about the bug called PHP? The most popular one.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Do it. 14 likes.
No comment.
Okay, thank you. was really quick. Another one. How do you deal with Selenium exceptions, such as network errors or incomplete page loads? Okay, come here.
Thank you.
But please don't say no comment again.
It's not only bodyguard.
usually when there is such kind of error, it means that the application doesn't work. So that means that the unit tests, that our tests are doing that it works. So it means we go in and find out what the problem could be, because it just doesn't happen normally, right? That means something is broken, and it's something we have to find out. That's all. So
you can do something like duet if you want. Okay, what about mobile application? Do you use only manual test?
sorry. There are 2 things. The web application, which was just presented, can be used on tablets and mobile devices too. And we are like not covering it currently, but there is also like native mobile application. We don't have it in our stack yet, in our testing stack. I mean, we are on it. We are just building it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's one of the issues.
Okay, next one. Why Firefox, not Chrome?
Okay, the history was we started with Phantom.js, as already presented, which is a headless implementation of a browser. But you know, how many of you are using Phantom.js, like in your computer? I mean for daily work, right? Like for every time. Okay, well, one guy, I see you. Great.
How?
Not so many. So we needed to find a way how to use, and also Phantom, you know, it was buggy and there were memory leaks and it was falling all the time and so on and so on. So we find a way how to use Firefox or some other browser. We use Selenium Hub, as it's called, which is a server where the browser is deployed. So we can have several instances, one by one, side by side, not interfacing with each other. Works pretty well via Firefox or Chrome. We could use both right now. We just stick to Firefox. Why not? There's no special reason for it.
Thank you. Another one. How do you maintain the test if some element is changed and you probably use it in more tests?
Then we have to change the tests also. That's why the testing is also in Scrum. So I'm within the team, and when they change something in front end and back end, I have my own task and I have to change the tests also. So it must be released together.
Okay, next one. Do you know how many clients are using your mobile application?
Mobile, I don't know.
Not more than 100.
Not yet. It's under development. It's quite new, so.
What do you think about Splinter test framework?
Never heard about it.
Clear European, nothing, sorry.
Should we? Should we know about it? Huh? No. Would be maybe it's some advice for us. So.
Okay, then it's clear. Do you run tests also against production server, staging server in same environment, or only in local development server environment?
Production. Yeah, we run it against production server. Every hour.
Have you looked at robot framework, with nicer output logs?
Not yet, thank you.
Full of advices. Do you use some predefined Selenium modules, for example, for login, layer operations, etc.?
No, we don't.
So quick. Could somebody please lend me micro? Okay. we really need to test our manager, Slido manager. Use struct log for more readable logs.
Thank you. I like it.
Awesome session. Python 2, unit test instead of PyTest. So I think 2 questions in one.
Yeah, exactly. Python 2. You know, I didn't want it to bother our DevOps too much. Therefore, we just went with the safer way for now. Again, no special reason for it, just to minimize the number of possible issues during the deployment and so on. And what was the second one? PyTest or unit test. We use unit test framework because it seemed to be more appropriate to me. Just, again, feeling more.
Okay, thank both of you.